Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Unboxed Mind of Sheens. It's Friday. Thank God. And it feels like, holy crap, it's Friday already. I feel like this week has flown by, this month's flown by. Yesterday got away from me, so I didn't have a chance to do the Unboxed Mind of Sheens last night. I had a meeting after work, and yeah. So, anyways, regardless, here we are. So, tonight I want to talk about patterns and how in school you learn patterns at a very early age. Like that is one of the fundamentals of math that you learn is AB pattern and all the different patterns. You start learning from kindergarten and then it just continues on up through high school. But it doesn't stop there. And patterns aren't just formed around math either. And it took me to get to this age of almost 39 in a couple days to step back and look at the patterns of my life. And it was a huge eye opener to see why the patterns continue to happen. And I know that we briefly touched on this on my last episode of me talking about what I finally discovered, the breakthrough that I finally had, and what I need to do now moving forward so that I'm not continuing to repeat the same pattern or stay stuck in the same cycle that I have lived most of my adult life, most of my at least personal relationship adult life. So let's just talk about how hard it is to finally break free of that pattern and how much of a roller coaster it truly becomes not to want to retreat back to that pattern or back to your old self. So, and a lot of people don't do this. And then they start blaming everyone else around them, that it's everyone else's fault, that they are stuck in the same pattern that they have always lived. Because nobody takes the time and nobody knows how to take the time to reflect and backtrack to where these patterns truly began. And I can first-handedly tell you that this week has been a struggle. So I am used to communicating on the stance of I have to prove something. I have to prove that I'm right, or I have to prove that they're wrong, or I have to prove something. And that proof, that me thinking that I need to prove something or something to someone, or if I'm right or someone that's wrong, that ends up creating so much anger and fear. I mean, fear comes from the fact of, well, maybe I'm not right. Maybe I am in the wrong. But this is all I know, and that's why I'm going to stand firm on what I know, and I'm not going to back down, and I'm going to stand strong, and I am not going to truly understand somebody else's point of view because they should understand how my point of view instead. And so many people get trapped in that thought process that and then they cling to it, and then it becomes a habit. It becomes a normal. It becomes their identity of self. And when truly that's not what we were meant to be. We weren't meant to be, as humans, such angry individuals that always have to prove our point or prove that we're right. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit that you're wrong, or it's okay to admit that you didn't know that that's how it was perceived. It's okay to reflect as to and go back to where that even came from. I think about when I was in college And you probably wouldn't know it now because I do a lot of ums, but one of my classes that I took in college was public speaking. And one of the things that the professor made sure to tell us is in order to avoid the ums, which I'm trying to get better about doing, the ums and the ands, is to practice pause. And I think a lot of the times this needs to happen in everyday conversations because we are so quick to listen without understanding and listen to react. So before the other person even finishes what they're saying, the person that's supposed to be listening and listening to understand is already reacting, already thinking about what to say, already wanting to interrupt, already wanting to interject whatever that person is saying or trying to say is getting misinterpreted instantly because we are not practicing pause to fully understand. So, what needs to happen and what should be happening is fully allow that person to talk, pause, reflect on what they said. If it's not clear, then what needs to happen is there needs to be a what asked. Like, what did you mean when you said this? That way, they have to rethink about what they said, redefine it, and restate it. So that way, maybe the other person will then fully understand versus the other person just interjecting and not wanting to really understand what that person's trying to say or what that person is trying to articulate or whatever. So practicing pause, and after practicing pause is patience. And a lot of really great leaders are very patient people. And a lot of really great leaders are emotionally intelligent and can tune in to the fact and be able to decide whether this person is coming to you with a problem for you to solve or they're coming to you because they need you for somebody to vent with. And one of the things that I really want to start doing more of in my leadership role is before anybody walks in my door that I need to ask, is this something that you need help solving? Because I don't want to be the person that's actually solving it. I want them to come to me with a problem. They have a solution to the problem, and they are just coming to me to make sure that to confirm that the solution makes the most sense, right? So they just want reassurance that what they are about to do to solve a problem is the correct way or a way that also makes sense to me. And I also need to practice asking first if you need me to help you, talk over a solution to a problem, or do you need to vent? Because so many times we dismiss people or we misread people as they are venting and I need to solve their problem of whatever they're venting about. When in all reality, we really might not need to solve that problem. It might just be something that they just need to let loose, be able to breathe, and move on from it. So basically, this whole segment was about the 3 P's: patterns, pause, and patience. And no matter what aspect of your life, whether it is your home life, your relationship life, the life with your kids, or you're at work, and you don't even have to be in a leadership role. It's working with a coworker. If the coworker truly has a problem, or if they're just venting because they're frustrated. So, in all reality, the 3 P's of life should be patterns. Notice your patterns. Notice how you react to things and how things continue to repeat. Practice pause when you're in a conversation, and that will pause the pattern as well. and patience. Patience to give it time, patience to fully listen, patience to end the pattern if it's a negative pattern that you're trying to end. So you're trying to end a negative pattern, you're pausing, and then you're giving yourself patience for continuing to try to pause the pattern. And actually, it's probably about 4 P's, because you should probably practice as well. Practice, pause, and patience to be able to fix a pattern that is not in line with your life or that you do not want to continue to live. So you need to practice, pause, and patience to end bad, negative patterns of your life. We will try to see you tomorrow, if not Sunday, but for sure on Monday. Have a great night, have a good weekend, and stay unboxed.